Welcome to your life group. We're glad you've taken this step to join this group. I'm Ryan, and I'll be your guide throughout this study as you launch your group. As you circle up for the first time, we know that everyone brings unique perspectives and experiences. That's one of the things that makes each group unique. At the beginning of every life group, it really helps for everyone to be on the same page about what they expect. People join groups for all sorts of reasons. Some want to study the Bible while others want to make new friends, and some want to connect with others who face the same challenges that they do. But a life group isn't any one of those things. We think it should be all of them. The goal of your group is to provide an opportunity for you to pursue both authentic community and spiritual growth. While a group isn't a Bible study class, you will read the scriptures together and talk about how they apply to your life. You'll pray together and even wrestle with big questions of faith. A life group isn't a support group either, where you just vent your emotions, but as you open up about what's really going on in your life, you'll give other members of your group permission to help you grow, and they'll do that by encouraging you as you figure out next steps and keep you accountable as you take them. Finally, while a group isn't just a social gathering, you will make friends. And the relationships you build in this circle will be a foundation for encouraging and challenging one another as you grow in your relationship with God. Because you can't grow spiritually unless you're connected relationally. We'll talk more about the role each of you will play to accomplish this goal, but first, I'd like to share a little bit about why life groups are so important. For some of you, this is your first time in a group. For others of you, you've been in groups before. My wife Haley and I have been a part of groups for many years. We joined our first group as a couple almost 10 years ago. We had just moved to Cincinnati, and we signed up to be a part of a young adult group as part of a church-wide study much like this one. Now, we had plenty of friends. In fact, Haley and I both had mentors. Everything was fine in our marriage, but we knew something was missing. And what was missing, even though we didn't have the word for it at the time, was community. We weren't intentionally tracking with any other couples, and nobody was tracking with us. We weren't praying with anybody other than just praying as a couple. So we circled up with a few other friends, and some amazing things happened in that very first group. We celebrated the birth of our daughters. We saw couples move from being friends to dating to marriage to parenting for the first time. We were there for friends through job transitions while we were in our group together. That group, those friendships that were made, it was so defining that Haley and I have been part of a group ever since. And that's why I'm so glad that you decided to take this step into group life. Rows are great, but as you've heard us say before, circles are better. We really do believe that circles are better than rows. And here's why. A group, or a circle, is where you're both known and grown. The other thing is, often it takes sitting in a circle and discussing content to figure out how to apply what you're learning sitting in a row on Sunday. Life group gives you the regular opportunity to ask those hard questions. And at times maybe even say, you know what, I'm not buying it. But here's the thing. If you will simply lean in and participate, life group really will be a catalyst for your spiritual growth. Now, Solomon, who is considered by some to be the wisest man who ever lived, he made an observation about relationships that I think goes right to the heart of why life groups are so important. Here's what he writes in the book of Ecclesiastes. He says this, 2 are better than 1. Why? Because they have a good return for their labor. And then he illustrates it. He says this, if either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity the one who falls and has no one to help them up. Think about this. Have you ever seen someone fall financially? Have you ever watched a marriage crumble? Have you ever seen a friend stumble morally, or maybe someone's faith implode because of serious illness or some other tragedy? What if it was you? What if it was your marriage? What if it was your health, your career, your faith? Other than family, who would be there for you? So here's the thing. As your group grows together, the people in the circle you're sitting in right now will be the people who are there for you. If something like that were to happen, they will be the ones who will ask, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? Really? And they will not accept I'm fine when they know that you're not. And here's the other great thing. You're going to have an opportunity to return the favor. Not because you have to, not because you're supposed to. It will happen naturally. That is the nature of group life. The bottom line is this. There are things that can happen in circles that can't happen any other way. And that's by design. You can't grow spiritually unless you are connected relationally. God created you. He created all of us for community. And you've already taken the most important first step. So congratulations. You are about to discover what many of us have known for a long time. Life really is better connected. We hope this group becomes a community that supports your growth. For that to happen, each of you has a role to play. It starts with doing 3 things. Show up, join in, and be real. Show up. It's the first step because of its importance. It means making group a priority. A sense of community can take time to build, and it rises and falls on how often you show up. If you don't show up, not only will you miss out, but someone else will miss out on what you have to bring by your absence. Second, join in. We mean speak up, be an active participant in group discussions. Come to group prepared and make an effort to be there for others in your group. And finally, be real. Let the people in your group know what's really going on in your life. Give them permission not to accept I'm fine as an answer to the question, how are you doing? If you do all these things, your initial connection will start to feel like community and give you the best chance to provide a meaningful group experience for everyone involved. On top of that, God can begin to use members of this group to grow you and use you to grow them. So for the rest of this group meeting, you're going to get started. We're going to provide you some questions to allow you to get to know each other better. We pray that God uses the relationships in your group to accomplish something together that couldn't happen for any of you on your own.